Hi grade 10s, me again. So we're going to move on to factoring complex trinomials. Very similar looking to simple trinomials, but I want you to take a look here. They have three terms like we're used to seeing, but we're going to be dealing when we don't have an a value that is equal to 1. So you'll notice right here in the front, we have a 2x squared, so something different than just finding a common factor, because 2 doesn't go into 7 or into the 6. So we need to do something a little bit different. That's why it's called a complex trinomial, because it's got a little more work. Okay, so let's take a look at this first one. Always remember that factoring is the opposite of expanding. I've said that a lot of times. So if you want to go and check your work ever, you can always expand your answer, multiply it out using FOIL to get the correct answer. So make sure you've printed this off. I've included it in the posting so that you can follow along as we go. And if you can't print it off, just grab a piece of paper and then you can follow along with us. So let's take a look at this first question right here. So we have 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. And if I thought it was a simple trinomial, then I would be trying to add to 7 and multiply to 6. And we can come up with some values that work, but this 2x squared is in the way. So we're going to do a couple things here. We're going to draw what I call the bridge, and we're going to bridge it between the a value and the c value, the first and the last value. And we're going to multiply those two numbers together. So I'm actually going to find what adds to, oh my thing's all the way over here, what adds to the 7, but what multiplies to the first times the last, which is actually 12. Did you see that? So what adds to 7 from the middle and what multiplies to the first times the last, which is 12. So those two numbers, I'm sure you're getting good at this, those two numbers are going to be 3 times 4 and 3 plus 4. Now it's not a simple trinomial, so we can't take those numbers and just plug them into a set of brackets. We're going to take those two numbers and do something else with them. So I'm going to write down my first term here. Oops, let's do it in black. My first term and my last term. And then I'm going to fit those other two numbers in the middle. But this actual method is called decomposition because you're splitting that middle term apart. So I'm going to put my 4x and 3x. And you might be wondering, well, why do they have an x? And it's called decomposition because you're decomposing that middle term. 7x is the same as 4x plus 3x. Okay, so I took this expression here that has 3 terms, and now it has 4 terms. So from here, I haven't done any factoring. I've just thought of numbers that add to 7 and multiply to 12. So I'm going to go ahead and keep factoring. I'm going to factor the first 2 terms. So I'm just going to group them off here. I'm going to factor the first 2 terms, and I'm going to factor the last. Sometimes this method is often called the first-last method because you're always talking about the first times the last and the first times the last. So the first 2 terms only, I'm going to take out a common factor of 2x, and inside I'm left with x plus, and then 4x divided by 2x, that's just 2. Okay, in the second bracket, so completely separate, we have 3x plus 6. I'm going to find what's common between 3x and positive 6, and what's common is the 3. And I'm going to divide 3x by 3, and I'm left with x, and 6 divided by 3, that's going to give me 2. Okay, so you'll notice that the 2 brackets are exactly the same, and that's how you know you've done everything right so far. So we did some factoring a little bit like this at the very beginning when we did common factoring. I have 2 terms here, 1, 2, and what's common in each of the terms? The bracket. So I'm going to take that bracket right out front, and I'm going to put my leftovers, the 2x and the 3, I'm going to put them in the back. Okay, so that should look really familiar. That's nice and colorful. That should look really familiar from when we did common factoring. But now this is fully factored, and if I want to check my work, we know that we can expand our answer and see what we get back. So I'll do that for this one, and you can do it for all the other ones if you would like. I just will run out of time if I do it for all of them. So if I want to go and check my work, I'm going to take my x plus 2 and multiply it by 2x plus 3. I'm going to get 2x squared back. That's good. I'm going to get plus 3x plus 4x. That looks familiar. And plus 6 on the end. And collecting my like terms in the middle, there's my original question right back. So you can't do this the same as simple trinomials. There's a little more work to do, so keep that in mind. So let's move on to our next one. Okay, so coming down here, we have 3x squared minus 11x plus 6. So it looks like that simple trinomial, but because I have that 3 in the front, I know it's not simple, and there's also not a common factor with any of those. 3, 11, and 6 don't have anything in common. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to add to the middle term, so I'm adding to 11, and I'm going to multiply to what I get from my bridge. Remember when I drew the bridge on the last one? 3 times 6, which is 18. So I need to add to 11 and multiply to 11, or 18. Sorry, add to negative 11, my mistake. Add to negative 11, so make sure you watch your signs. So add to negative 11, multiply to positive 18. My two numbers are going to be negative 9 and negative 2. Negative 9 plus negative 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and put those in. Remember, this one's got a little more work to do. So we have the first and the last, write those down. And in the middle, we're going to put those two those two factors we just came up with. So negative 9x and negative 2x. Remember, they have to split up that negative 11x. Those together give negative 11x. So now I'm going to group the first two terms and the last two terms. Okay? The first two terms have a 3x common. And when I divide 3x squared by 3x, I'm left with x. And when I divide negative 9x by 3x, I'm left with negative 3. I'm going to bring down this negative right here, and then look at what's common between 2x and 6, and that's just a 2. Now be careful, this is negative 2x divided by negative 2, and that gives a positive 1x. Then I have positive 6 divided by negative 2, which is going to be negative 3. So be very careful of your signs there. So you'll notice that both our brackets are exactly the same. And when they're the same, you know you've done everything right, but you're not done. Because remember, when you're fully factored, you have to have a product of two brackets. So I'm going to bring that common factor to the front, and I'm putting my leftovers in the back. So the 3x and the negative 2 are going to go in the second bracket at the back. Okay, how's that? All good. So you can go ahead and check that one doing FOIL like we done on the last one, but I'm going to move on to the second page. Okay, going to letter C. So that should be over here. Okay, so let's check this one out. We need to add to negative 9 from the middle, and I'm going to multiply to what I get from my bridge. So positive 4 in the front times negative 9 in the back, and that's going to give negative 36. So we need to think of two numbers that multiply to negative 36, but add up to negative 9. So a quick little tip here, when you're multiplying to a negative, you know that you need two numbers, and one of them will be negative and one has to be positive. Okay? So two numbers that are going to do the trick. Let's see. Negative 12 times positive 3. And add 3. Yep, that will give negative 9. So let's come back over here, and we're going to fit them right in the middle. So I'll write down my first term like I did, and write down my last term. And now I'm going to fit in my negative 12x and my positive 3x. And you might be asking at this point after a couple, how do I know which one goes first? it doesn't matter. You can put either one first. Just sometimes it's nice to line them up when you know that there's going to be something in common with the one that's right beside. But it works either way. Okay, so those are my two numbers, negative 12x plus 3x in the middle, and together they give negative 9x. So now I'm going to group my first two terms and group my second two terms. Okay, so I have a positive 4x that is common with the first two. Okay, and then when I divide the 4x squared by 4x, I'm left with x, and negative 12x divided by 4x gives negative 3. Then I look at what's common with the second two, and that's just a 3. So I'm going to go 3x divided by 3, which gives x, and negative 9 divided by 3, which gives negative 3. So I see that common bracket again, and I know I did everything right, and I'm going to bring that common bracket forward and put my leftovers in the back. So after 3 questions, usually people are like, not bad. First one sucked. Not sucked. First one wasn't the easiest, but after 3, not bad. So let's take a look at one more, and again, you can foil that if you like. I probably have enough time. I have to keep this under 15 minutes, so I can probably have enough time to do the last two. I'm going to do them a little bit quicker, so you can always stop, pause the video, and look back. Okay? So I want to add to positive 1, that's the number in front of the x, and I want to multiply to the first times the last. So that's going to give me negative 12. So I need to multiply to a negative, so I need one of them needs to be a negative, so I'm going to go with positive 4 and negative 3. Positive 4 plus negative 3. And I'm going to come in here and fit them right in. So my first term and my last term, and fit my other two in here, positive 4x and negative 3x. And I'm going to group the first two and group the last two. I'm going to have a common factor of 2x this time, times x plus 2, bring down my negative, and then a common factor of 3. And I'm left with, remember it's negative 3x divided by negative 3, which gives positive x, and then positive 2. So I know I did it right because there's my bracket that's exactly the same, and I'm going to bring my common bracket forward and the leftovers in the back. Okay, so that's that, and let's do one more. So you can always go back and foil if you want to check your work. You should check your work. So let's try this one, sorry, in and out here. So I'm going to add to a negative 7 this time and multiply to what I get from my bridge, which is going to be negative 18. Okay, so multiplying to negative 18, always watch your signs. I'm going to end up with negative 9 and positive 2. That sounds familiar. Do we have that up here? Maybe it was on that one. Oh, it was a positive 18. So we have negative 9 and positive 2. That's going to do the job. So we'll write those down. Negative 9 and positive 2. Okay, so let's just zoom in here. We have the first, we'll have the first term here and the last, and then squeeze in the other two. So negative 9x and positive 2x. Group the first two together and the last two. What's common with the first two is a 3x, and I'm left with 2x minus 3. And what's common in the second two is just a 1, not ever a 0. If you can't find anything else other than a 1, make sure you write down plus 1. And then we're left with 2x minus 3, so no change there. My common bracket, I can see, is right here, and I'm going to bring that out front. 2x minus 3, and my leftovers in the middle. Oops. Of course, I mess up on the last one. My leftovers in the middle, so 3x plus 1. Okay, so that is complex trinomial factoring. You have some practice work to do right after this. Always rewatch the video if you're unsure. I know I did the last two quickly, but I needed to get under 15 minutes, which I'm coming up to right now. So hopefully you're doing good. Always message me if you're having trouble, and we'll try to do another live Zoom meeting on Thursday. Take care.